Memphis, Tennessee.
Get ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. For the next hour, we will forget about the black man, we will forget about the white man, and we will deal with the human. Pastor Andre Guy is here to answer your questions from a biblical perspective. He's an humble man who's on a mission to bring the church together with a Bible and a dictionary. He will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help him God. And now, here's Pastor Andre Guy.
The 10th chapter of Matthew. And I want you to go to verse 33. The 10th chapter of Matthew, verse 33. You can stand for the reading of the word if you like. There you'll find these holy words. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I'm come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father and mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Yes, sir.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. I want to speak to you today about you do not have the right to remain silent. You do not have the right to remain silent. In the world, you are accosted by the police. They tell you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And that's for the world. But in the word, you do not have the right to remain silent. And if you choose to remain silent, anything you didn't say that God told you to say will be held against you. You do not have the right to remain silent. Today as Christians, we only want to speak about Christianity when we get around other Christians, when it's convenient. But when everybody else is cursing, when everybody else is drinking, and you're in the family unit, you don't want to feel like a Bob, you don't want Lucy to get mad, and so you keep your mouth shut about this God that you say you serve. You do not have the right to remain silent. Far too many people are not understanding Christianity because the people that proclaim to be Christian aren't speaking up about it. We have children in our household and we let them listen to all kind of music and watch all kind of television, and we know it's not of God, and you just sit back because I don't want to cause any waves. Well, when it comes to Jesus Christ, you're going to cause waves. Jesus was a troublemaker. Wherever he went, he agitates you spiritually and mentally, because the truth agitates people. It's not that he was trying to put father against father, son against father, mother against daughter. The fact of the matter is the truth does that on his own. You want to worship God as long as they got to face the truth about me. Now, I can face the truth about you. It's easy for me to point out what she's doing wrong. But when you want to tell me to take a good look in the mirror and do some self-examination, then all of a sudden, I don't want to touch that. Some of us got a Billy Goat mentality. I can tell you need to stop drinking. But you smoke cigarettes. That's a Billy Goat, but. Because no matter how many cigarettes that I smoke, you still need to stop drinking. And we keep quiet about our own personal sins. We keep quiet when we get around that man or woman that we like that don't like talking about God. We keep quiet when we get on that job we got when they telling all the dirty jokes, and I've been telling them too. That we keep quiet. When we go to the family reunion, we don't want the folks in the family reunion to think that we weak because we've accepted the Lord. Now, you don't have the right to remain silent when you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Why is it that we have a problem getting loud for God, but you ain't got a problem getting loud for Satan? You ain't quiet when you run around and having sex with somebody ain't none of your husband or your wife. Oh, ouch. I've yet to see a quiet drunk. I saw them quiet before they got drunk.
Good evening, members and the rest of the world. Welcome to another edition of The Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I'm Andre Guy Reed.
Hey, Juwan Breaking Up.
For the next hour, let's forget about the black man. Let's forget about the white man. Still with the human, from a Bible perspective, if you will. Feel free to call in at 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. For the comments, suggestions, agreements, even disagreement we may have, we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Okay, this is the Truth Radio Show brought to you by the Truth Radio Network. We deal with everything from sex, race, religion, politics, and even sometimes sports from a Bible perspective. Needed that. First of all, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I pray for America. I pray for the world. I pray especially for our President of these United States of America, that he makes decisions based on you, your word, your will, and your way. I pray for the citizens of America, God, that we
and
come
white
together one
supremacy.
nation, not as black, not as white, not as Hispanic, not as Asian, but as Americans, not as Democrat, not as Republican, not as independent, but as American. And Father, mostly I pray that this country gets back on the moral compass to please you, to glorify you, and to worship you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Trying time for the country, and a lot of people have a lot of narratives and opinions. Before we get to the end of that, here's the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism, whatever they need. We must recognize that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize disturbed minds and perform demented acts. We must shine light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murders before they start. The internet likewise is used for human trafficking, illegal drug distribution, and so many other heinous crimes. The perils of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. In the 2 decades since Columbine, our nation has watched with rising horror and dread as one mass shooting has followed another, over and over again, decade after decade. We cannot allow ourselves to feel powerless. We can and will stop this evil contagion. In that task, we must honor the sacred memory of those we have lost by acting as one people. Open wounds cannot heal if we are divided. We must seek real bipartisan solutions. We have to do that in a bipartisan manner that will truly make America safer and better for all. First, we must do a better job of identifying and acting on early warning signs. I am directing the Department of Justice to work in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, as well as social media companies, to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike. As an example, the monster in the Parkland High School in Florida had many red flags against him, and yet nobody took decisive action. Nobody did anything. Why not? Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. That's what we have to do. Third, we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals who may commit acts of violence and make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun. Fourth, we must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process. That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders. Today, I'm also directing the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty, and that this capital punishment be delivered quickly, decisively, and without years of needless delay. These are just a few of the areas of cooperation that we can pursue. I am open and ready to listen and discuss all ideas that will actually work and make a very big difference. Republicans and Democrats have proven that we can join together in a bipartisan fashion to address this plague. Last year, we enacted the Stop School Violence and Fix NICS Acts into law, providing grants to improve school safety and strengthening critical background checks for firearm purchases. At my direction, the Department of Justice banned bump stocks. Last year, we prosecuted a record number of firearms offenses. But there is so much more that we have to do. Now is the time to set destructive partisanship aside, so destructive, and find the courage to answer hatred with unity, devotion, and love. Our future is in our control. America will rise to the challenge. We will always have, and we always will, win. The choice is ours, and ours alone. It is not up to mentally ill monsters. It is up to us. If we are able to pass great legislation after all of these years, we will ensure that those who were attacked will not have died in vain. May God bless the memory of those who perished in Toledo. May God protect them. May God protect all of those from Texas to Ohio. May God bless the victims and their families. May God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Amen, Mr. President. What the call do? Hello, caller, welcome to the show.
It's the black victim. What's going on, Pastor?
What's going on, Ricky?
You know, I'm a victim just as well as anybody else that got caught up in the system. They make me take a shot every month at the VA hospital. And, you know, I've always been non-violent except for one time. And I only spent one night in jail in my life, but they make me take medication. Just because I know I'm a little smarter than they are. I got Jesus and seen angels and all of that, like I tell you. Like I say, I see what I saw in the spirit and heard what I know. But they're going to always make me take a shot at my nerve.
All right,
and that stuff is hard to live under, you know. You're straining to get out of bed and get to the store or whatever.
All right, we praying for you with your shot. We did it with CNB this morning. No, I got to let you go now.
Oh, I didn't let you go. You're reprobate on with that.
Amen. Hello, caller, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Pastor Guy. How are you?
Good evening, the other guy.
Yes, sir.
Good guy to talk to. Good guy to talk to. By the way, let me tell somebody.
Okay.
You know, you sent me a text earlier today.
You
did, and you mentioned about that the man who's in El Paso, that they didn't kill him.
Yeah, why is he still alive?
Maybe because he laid down, you think?
Maybe because of white prejudice.
Because of white prejudice? Well, if that's the case, then why isn't the man that did the shooting in South Haven dead?
The man that did the shooting in South Haven, he got
in South Haven, and he's not dead, no.
Yeah, but
as a matter of fact, let me play this for you. It just happened a couple of days ago. Let me play this for you. But I'm sure you're not aware of this one. Let me get it for you. At some point, we have to get grabbing this white-black narrative. It's taking time to load for the read why it's coming up. A Texas police officer shot and killed a woman when he fired repeatedly at a dog that was running with him, authorities said. The officer was among those responding to a welfare check for 30-year-old Margarita Victoria Brooks, who appeared to be unconscious on the grass near a shopping center in Arlington. Here it is. Here it is. Let me play for a second. At some point, man, on both sides, we got to stop this narrative, black and white, man. Some point, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And I thank God the president started with stopping it. But of course, there are some that don't. I'm not going to hear that because he's the president. Let me get his plan, but not the audio.
Well, that's what happened.
Well, anyway, in this story here, the woman ended up getting killed by the police, and she was unarmed. But they did end up killing her.
An officer shoots and kills a woman he was trying to help.
Okay, there.
Is that your dog? Can you get back?
Clearly, this is not the outcome the officer wanted, nor is it the outcome that the department wanted.
Arlington police provide an explanation as to how this happened, and we learn more about the officer's background.
The entire encounter lasted a matter of seconds. That rookie officer had only been on patrol on his own for a month before last night's shooting.
Andrea Lucia, she is live near the location of that shooting with what she's learning about the victim in this shooting as well tonight. Andrea?
30-year-old Margarita Brooks was the daughter of an Arlington fire captain. She, her boyfriend, and their dog often spent their days walking this area and were familiar faces to people who live and work around here. She was lying in the grass down this path over here when the shooting occurred, and people this evening have been stopping by to get a look, leave flowers, and express shock at what happened. Body cam video shows the Arlington officer searching for a woman, a 911 caller said was lying on the ground, unresponsive. After several minutes, he found her in the grass.
Ma'am!
The encounter lasted just seconds.
Hello? Are you okay? Is that your dog? Can you get back?
Even then, it took a moment for him to realize.
Ma'am, get up.
By the way, she was a unarmed white woman. Go ahead.
That is one of the most powerful moves I ever saw in my life.
Okay, but
Here you is talk about a dog, and we have 20, make it 30, people dead, human beings.
I was speaking on the fact that you make the claim that the police only kill people when they come in contact with when they're black. You know, that's the narrative that you like to throw out, and I just want to figure that maybe if you heard that you'd stop doing it. But go ahead.
Okay, well let's talk about that this point. You know what you first played with our president? You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
The archer that set the house on fire and ran the first one out to run out and get a bucket of water. Don't they Trump have 30 lives on his hands?
What you doing?
Go on.
So now, let me make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. What you're saying is, because I didn't see Donald Trump when he was in El Paso or in Dayton, Ohio. What you're saying is because he was the president. Oh, by the way, I noticed nobody mentions, and I was really disappointed in Fox News because I couldn't catch any news with them. They kept just playing regular programs. I had to get this from CNN, but I noticed that the guy who did the shooting in his manifesto, he said that he had these feelings for Hispanics long before Trump became president. Are you aware of that?
Well, let's talk about the feelings that Donald Trump had before this.
No, Donald Trump didn't shoot anybody.
Well, sir, no, he did not. And I will give you that.
And so, are you trying to equate that because he's the president, he's responsible for what happened?
No, I'm trying to equate the first thing he said when he came down those escalators. When he painted human beings as others, racist, murderers. You see, he put a target on those people's back. You know this.
The man was talking about illegal immigrants that was coming into this country. A lot of them are that. First of all, we're Hispanic. You can call them, you can call them Hispanic, you can call them Asian. The key word is illegal.
Okay.
At the end of the day, no other country let illegal people invade their country like that, man. As a matter of fact, this guy right here who operated off that, he operated because he felt that his culture was going to be invaded because you got people that are fighting for rights for people to come into this country illegally. What part of that don't y'all understand?
What part of this don't you black Republicans understand? That when they come, these white guys, when they come, these white guys, skinhead white guys, when they come, they're not going to, what they going to see, sir, is they're going to see your black face. They're not going to want to know whether you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm a Christian.
All they know is hatred.
I'm a Christian. Well, you know, and it's funny you keep putting, it's funny you keep putting that on the Republicans. It's funny you keep putting that on Trump. Let me read you something. In 2003, Douglas Williams, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 7 people at Lockheed Martin plant. In 2007, a registered Democrat named Song Hu Choi shot and killed 32 people in Virginia Tech. In 2010, a mentally ill registered Democrat named Jared Lee Loughner shot Representative Gabrielle Giffords and killed 6 others. In 2011, a registered Democrat named James Holmes went into a movie theater and shot and killed 12 people. In 2012, Andrew Ellinger, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 7 people in Minneapolis. In 2013, a Democrat named Adam Lanza shot and killed 26 people in a school. In September 2013, an angry Democrat shot 12 people at a Navy shipyard. In June 16, Omar Mateen, a registered Democrat that pledged his allegiance to ISIS, shot 102 people in an Orlando gay nightclub. Wait a minute, June 2016, oh my God, Obama was president then. In June 2017, Jane Hutchinson, a Democrat, opened fire on Republican congressman at a ball field in Alexandria, Virginia. In April 2018, Lasan Arkham, a leftist PETA activist, opened fire at the YouTube building in California. In May 2019, 2 leftists, Devin Erickson, 18, and Alec McKinley, 16, who was listed on the court docket by the name Maya Elizabeth as a transgender, opened fire at a school in Highland Ranch, Colorado, injuring 8 and killing 1. In July 2019, a South Haven, Mississippi Walmart, that's a black guy, Martez Abraham, an African-American registered Democrat, opened fire, killing 2 and wounding El-Amin. In July 2019, in Gilroy, California, 19-year-old Santiago William Leguin, influenced by the book Might is Right, an anti-capitalism anarchist book by socialist author Ragnar Redbeard, heavily advocated egoist, anarchism, and Darwinism, opened fire, killing 3 and injuring 12 at a garlic festival. These presidents responsible for that?
It's August the 3rd, 2019, 30 dead.
Okay.
President Trump was the president.
Okay, so you know what? And you did a good thing. So we blaming Trump for that. Then surely in June 2016 we got to blame Obama for what happened in Orlando. Surely. Why wouldn't you? That's what you're doing to Trump.
Because show me for Trump, Barack Obama made a speech that paid other people.
Barack Obama is the one that started this racial agenda.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow. I promise you I'm the preacher. I promise you I'm not only am I the preacher, I'm the preacher that teaching the true gospel of God, because you got these false prophets that are getting up in these pulpits promoting people to follow this political agenda. I keep telling you, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm a Christian. I stand for what's right. At the end of the day, these Democrats and these Republicans, they need to tone this rhetoric down because they're fueling the spirits of evil. What we're dealing with, man, is evil. They need to do something about these assault weapons that they letting folks get and run out here to kill people, because those weapons are meant for one thing and one thing only: killing human beings. That's what that's for. Even though people can go kill people anyway, I take my chances on somebody with a 45 or a knife where they could kill 100 people in 30 seconds over an assault weapon.
I never heard a face-to-face devil in my life. So today, I heard it today. I heard you pray for this brother. The heck is responsible for these 30 people being dead.
Well, maybe if you read your King James Version Bible, it'll tell you that pray for those in leadership of you, whether you like them or not. So when you disobedient for playing for the president, you're not hurting Donald Trump. You disrespecting God.
So,
Yeah.
so it should have been in Moses' days. It should have been praying for Pharaoh. He was in leadership.
Last time I checked, God hadn't given that instruction yet, but if he had, yes, you would have to pray for Pharaoh, just like I had to pray for Barack Obama, and I definitely didn't like his policies.
Oh.
But I wasn't going to fall out with God because of Barack Obama. I'm not going to go to hell because of no Barack Obama.
So can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I'm listening at you daily, man.
Sure.
And I never heard those words come out of your mouth from Barack Obama that I heard come out your mouth today from Donald J. Trump.
Man, I tell folks all the time. Matter of fact, I've had time when we was on the other side that I got on some conservative people that said they wouldn't pray for Barack Obama. One of them was that Jesse Lee Peterson guy I told him, you're not disrespecting Barack Obama, you're disrespecting God. No, I don't like the policies Barack Obama put out there. He's the president of the United States, and I prayed for him to listen to the voice of God.
I'm asking only one thing. I'm asking a simple question.
Okay.
Not hard at all.
What's the question?
I tell you, I told you I've been listening at you ever since I found you on this app.
Okay, well, you missed that one.
I listen at you daily, sir.
Well, you missed that one then.
Just tell me, I have no doubt that you prayed for it, but tell me that you ever prayed for Barack Obama the way you prayed for Donald J. Trump today.
I did every night. I did every night, man. What part you don't understand about that?
No, I'm talking about on this radio.
Sir, first of all, whether I pray on this radio for Barack Obama or not, are you God?
What not?
So you hearing my prayer really doesn't matter, does it?
What doesn't?
So, but as long as God hear my prayer, then everything lovely, ain't it?
But that one I heard today, speaking of lovely, it was a lovely prayer.
It was heartfelt and it was sincere.
Absolutely. Absolutely it was. But I never heard it during Barack Obama time.
Chef sent you a question.
Message from Chef. Can you ask other guy, what exactly has Trump said that makes someone kill?
Yes.
Wait a minute. See, this is what you guys have amnesia. Let me ask a Chef. Please, sir, let me ask a Chef.
Okay.
When he came down that escalator and said what he said about Hispanics, that was the tipping point. Now,
because the man who did the shooting said he had these feelings before Trump became president. But I guess you know better than him.
No, I have no doubt he probably had that. But sir, he made it worse. Trump made it worse. Trump pushed him to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, I have no doubt that he had
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it might be possible that these liberal whites and blacks, when they throw stuff out there like, anytime if a white man disagrees with a black person, he's a racist, or you got people like Beto O'Rourke or what's her name, what was it, Christine Gillibrand, who was born Trina Rudnick. When you got them come out there saying stuff like, we're going to eliminate white privilege and white people need to apologize for being white and we need to be punished for being black, white. When you got people like Maxine Waller that tell them, if you see somebody that's conservative, whether they're out in public eating with their families or anything, get in their face, push back on them. Do you think just maybe you might be having some people putting some rhetoric out there to push them in the corner? You think?
Maybe. Now, what I'm saying is this, okay? Now, Beto...
And Chef said you're nothing. Hold on.
Message from Shaft. He still didn't give the quote.
He still didn't get no quote. Whatever he said, that didn't make nobody go shoot nobody.
Okay. Let me give him a quote. Chef, listen at this. They bringing in drugs. They rapists, murderers, and some of them are good people. Okay? Now your quote is...
So that made people go kill people.
It made those guys do it. It pushed them to the brink.
Interesting.
It pushed them to the brink.
Interesting.
Well,
tell me this here. What pushed them to the brink when you got a Democrat and they support homosexuality? That he goes into a bar, a homosexual bar, and he kills 100 and some people, while Barack Obama, who pushes homosexuality, what made him go and kill them, sir?
don't know. Don't ask me about the gays, man. Okay, you don't ask me about the gays. Look here, man, you've been real nice today. I'm looking at the rest of these people.
All right, did I feed you wood?
Y'all time to jump off of this ship, man. That man ain't right, and y'all know it. Have a good one, man.
All right, you have a good one. We got another caller?
Yes, sir.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hey, Atlanta, how you doing? Atlanta, before you get started, I got to admit, I was disappointed in Fox yesterday. I was. Matter of fact, me and Joseph, last night we were watching the news. We literally had to turn to CNN and MSNBC to get a report about what was going on with the shooting, because Fox was just running just the regular programming and stuff, because they didn't want to run what was going on and stuff. And I told Joe, I said, that didn't help Trump. That actually made it look bad, and I was disappointed in them.
Well, to be honest with you, I just barely watch Fox or listen to Fox every now and then. Because ever since the Murdoch sons pretty much taken over, the flavor of Fox has changed completely.
Okay.
So it has changed a little bit. And did you realize Shepard Smith? I mean, he is a stone cold liberal to begin with, and he does their news reports over there. So if you listen to his news, now usually I may listen to some of the opinion people, but when Shepard Smith is doing the news, and he's almost like just a news director, so to speak,
right.
Almost, he has a definite liberal slant to him.
I would be surprised. Have you seen this new series they got called The Loudest Voice?
I haven't seen that one.
It's about Roger Ailes and how he started Fox.
Right, okay.
Man, when I saw him, man, that dude, when he started Fox, he did a lot to feed into this racist agenda and all that stuff, and the whole foundation of Fox News that he did, God ain't got nothing to do with it. You might want to check that out. I mean, it's quite interesting.
Okay, I definitely will look at that. But I just generally watch Fox News every now and then. But I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Cain and Abel.
Okay.
What was the basic premise behind why Cain killed Abel? What was the main premise?
Because Abel gave God a tithe and Cain didn't. Then if you go back and read it, it said Abel gave God the firstlings of what he had. In order for you to pay tithe to God, you have to give God the first 10%. You can't say, okay, I'm gonna put this 10% aside and go pay my bill. He gave God the firstling. Cain gave God an offering. He gave God something. He gave God something after he took care of his business. And God smiled on what Abel gave him, but he frowned on what Cain gave him, and Cain got mad. Instead of him getting right and doing what Abel did, he killed his brother because he got jealous.
He got jealous because he found that Abel...
All that was about the tithe.
Right, he pretty much told Cain that Cain wasn't doing what he should have been doing.
Right, he gave God an offering, and Abel gave God the firstlings, the tithe, because tithe comes first. You're supposed to give God your first 10% of what he blesses you increase with.
Okay, well, I'm kind of tied into this without using the tithe thing. You made a comment to other guys just before I called in about, you said, do you not think that some of these white guys are going crazy, or these shoes going crazy because you got people telling them that they're the bad people?
Right. What they call it, white privilege, and we need to apologize for being white,
and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. That goes back almost like what the Cain and Abel thing was, so to speak.
Which mean?
Where like to pull out the tithe thing, but God smiled on Abel and then kind of pushed Cain away. And so they're kind of pushing these white folks away to the side, and they're kind of bowling up and going after what do they think is showing favor, God's showing favor to. Not so much as God, but people in general showing favor to.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Your premise is starting off wrong, and I'm tell you why.
Okay.
You want to use a godly example, but take God out of the equation.
Okay.
Because if God was in the equation, the white person that's offended because of people that are bringing up white privilege and white supremacy and all that, they wouldn't be focused on their whiteness anyway.
Okay, well,
it's the same thing on black supremacists. If they're focusing on what God has made them, they realize we all brothers and sisters because of one blood he made all nations. You want to use a godly example, but then put it into a worldly equation. That ain't going to work.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I'm not putting God into this equation here. I was just kind of...
You did. You used the tithe. Tithe is synonymous with God.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm not trying to use the tithe part here. I'm not trying to use that. What I'm trying to say is that from a white privilege standpoint, you got the Democrats are playing the role saying that the people of white privilege, they're just bad people going along the same line. And so forget the Cain and Abel situation politically, forget that completely. But I'm saying maybe these people are striking out because they're being told that all of this stuff is being given to the Mexicans or the Hispanics coming over, and that they're not worth their salt, per se.
Okay, let me ask you a question on that. And I did use that example, and it's very possible that's the reasoning behind what they're doing. Does that make it right?
No, none of this makes it right. And I meant to say that at the very beginning.
I didn't say because at the end of the day, it's still evil.
Excuse me?
I said at the end of the day, it's still evil. That's the part of that clip I just played, but they didn't, I don't know if it played when Trump said he denounces white supremacy. He denounces, what was it, 3 of them he named. He denounced white supremacy. He denounced bigotry, and he denounced racism. That's what it was.
Right, and all of that is bad. You cannot justify. The bottom line is people who did stealing are actually people who did stealing.
Right, because if a white man is operating off that based on people saying that they have white privilege and all that, then then you got to validate black people operating off the premises. Well, I'm still living off the residue of slavery, so that's why I feel like I feel about white people. It's the same thing.
But that's my point, though. Some of those people are operating like that. Right?
Yeah, and it's evil.
Like that. And it's totally evil, but to hear the press and the media tell it, it's all about Donald Trump who's making these people react this way.
Well, it depends on what media that you listen to. If you listen to CNN, MSNBC, that's exactly what they're saying. If you listen to Fox is just as biased on the conservative side as they are on the liberal side. They're not going to do anything negative on Trump and stuff. And basically, just be honest with you, the media, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, tricking all of us. All of them.
What it is that what you got to keep in mind is that most of these media outlets, it's an echo chamber.
Yeah, that's true.
Echo chamber. People tend to go to the places where they're going to hear what they want to hear.
Now we're on the same page. But how many times do you hear Fox, CNN, or MSNBC say, well, we feel this way because this is what the Word of God says?
Oh, you're not going to hear that.
Not at all, because none of them are faith-founded on God. None of them.
Right, exactly. And actually, do we go to the media for that, for them to be founded on God, per se?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Those of us that do believe in voting and are Christians, we go to the media to get information to help guide us on our vote based on our Christian faith. Unfortunately, it used to be years ago, you had some news that could be actually objective, where it would just report the news, and then you could take which part you want, take which part you want to leave, and then you decide if it's your faith. But now, because they're so biased, if I go to Fox, I know that these people are going to give me a narrative that's going to push me to go vote conservative Republican. If I go to MSNBC or CNN, they're going to push a narrative that's going to get me to vote Democrat and to be liberal. But nobody is looking at it from the... Ted Koppel said something, I think it was last year, year before last. He said they don't even report the news anymore. You can have a tsunami going on, and all they'll talk about is, I saw Trump cut his hair today.
Exactly. So that's what I was saying earlier. If I go to Fox, I'm going there for like the opinion conference here.
Right.
I'm not going there for the basic news, because you're going to get a slant from the news. The best way to get the news in most places, you got to search it out. You got to go through all
that's what it didn't get to. Yeah.
But you can't depend upon the media to give you a straight sort of news. Just like, for example, like CNN, even when they were talking about like with the tweets. President saying, they said those racist tweets.
Right.
Who said they were racist?
Right. They make sure any comments they start. Cory Booker, he already looking bad about his, you can't tell my Kool-Aid thing. So his biggest thing is the president has done this because of racism. That's the going thing over there, racism.
Right.
And people are grabbing hold to it, man, and it's sad because it very well is doing that thing where you're pushing this race into a corner to say, they get the Popeye syndrome. I had all I can stand, I can't stand no more. And now we end up with what we got.
And I know you got to go, but I said this a couple of years ago on your show right here. I said, eventually, the white voters are going to start rebelling.
You did do that. You said it almost 2 years ago. You did do that.
Right, because you just told the other guy, you said that it kind of started during the Obama era, because they started that racist divisiveness at that point, and then the white voter just kind of sat back and just accepted it, and now they're starting to say, hey, like you said, I'm in that corner, I got to do something.
I've had all I can stand, I can't stand no more.
You got the entire Democratic panel up there saying, we're coming after you. we're going for you. You're going to have to pay for everything, but we're going to give them everything for free.
And they got so bold with it, they don't just stick it racist. They call the man a bigot. They call the man a white nationalist. They are inciting people that this man is trying to kill them and destroy America and stuff, and then but they want to put it all on him like he's doing it. And these people, ain't no sense in even talking about the black people because there's no sense in even trying to reason with them.
But see, here's the thing about that too, and I'm gonna say this myself and I'm gonna get off this. They're not even talking about black people anymore. I mean, we're just this lost soul out there in the middle. It's about Hispanics and whites. Hispanics and whites. You very seldom hear them talk about the whites going after the blacks. It's the whites going after Hispanics.
Yeah, because they know they got the blacks and they need that Hispanic vote to switch this political tide like they want to. Blacks, they've already taken them for granted. They know we ain't got to do nothing else. They have the Stockholm syndrome. They gonna defend us no matter what. The Hispanic vote is really the key to what they need right now.
Exactly. As always, I enjoy your show.
Wait, hold on before you go, I gotta ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think about the banning of assault weapons?
Well, actually, assault weapons are banned. The assault weapons are not legal. What you have is you have these semi-automatics out there that people are...
No. Assault weapons are legal. They've been illegal since 2004. Assault weapons were illegal 1994 to 2004.
Oh, that's right.
Right. George Bush, he wanted to re-extend the ban on it, but he knew that he couldn't get any help because that NRA is too powerful. They are way too powerful for this country.
So I think they should definitely ban the actual assault weapons, but the weapons that they're going to they should definitely ban the assault weapons. There's no need for that to have people just to have them. But going back to that thing about the NRA, when you look back into this NRA thing, look at the amount of money the NRA put out there.
Exactly.
The union that's got more power than the NRA does, to be honest with you.
Now who do you say has more power?
The union.
I didn't think about that.
More power than
I love your intellect. I love talking to you. I didn't think those unions are very, very powerful.
Exactly. The NRA gets all the press because they tend to go in the direction, or the conservatives go in the direction the NRA goes. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the unions and the power they have over the liberals and the Democrats, they have so much more power than the NRA. Mm-hmm.
Only problem is, though, unions aren't producing something that's getting 100 people killed in 30 seconds.
They're producing the crazy kids in the school. They're producing the power to put the politicians in position, giving them money to campaign.
Watch out, boy. Watch out. Well, you shut your mouth. Okay. Amen, my friend. May I join you as always.
All right, take care of yourself.
901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. Y'all, I promise y'all, I'm not here to be Democrat, to be Republican. I'm here to be a Christian. And I guarantee you that son listen to the show. Oh, no, I don't like Pastor Guy anymore. He's for a ban on assault weapons. Somebody got to do something. Something is wrong. When you putting guns, and don't use this stuff, well, we're going to do background checks on the people that have mental disabilities. Less than 4% of the people that have done these mass shootings in the last 2 decades have a track record of having mental illness. You can't track hatred. You can't track racism, and neither one of them is against the law. So you can't take your weapons from these people. And this stuff about, I got these weapons to defend myself against the government because God wants me to defend myself. Let me read you something right quick from the Bible. This is from the Bible. Oh, well, before I do it, in Luke 22:36, it says, if you don't have a sword, go buy a sword. The man told Jesus, Jesus, I got 2. Jesus said, that's enough. The Bible says a strong man armed can protect his house. The Bible never told you that you're supposed to go into war against this government. The war that we got to go into as a Christian is a spiritual war. It ain't got nothing to do with your AK-47 or your AR-15. Just give you that for free. Send a call. Hello, Carl. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Greg. How you doing today?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I told Q we're digging the sewer line, listening to y'all. Let's bring a little bright spot to dig. So, my question to you is, you're going under the term that the AR-15 is an assault weapon.
Let me say what now?
You're classifying an AR-15 as an assault weapon.
I'm classifying any weapon that you can kill 100 people in less than a minute with, yes. Can you kill 100 people in less than a minute with AR-15?
I mean, you know.
Is it a yes or no?
You might be able to if you really good.
Okay, well that's an assault weapon.
Okay. So,
I'd rather take my chance with somebody who's so hatred to go kill people they don't know. I'd rather take my chance than killing multiple people with a 45 or a knife than with a weapon where you can fire enough rounds and stuff to kill 100 people in less than a minute. Because the police are going to take them at least 5 or 6 to get there, so you get a chance to kill 500 people.
I'd go with that. You know, I'm just trying to clarify the mechanism. Because you could do that with a 45 if the same...
You can't kill no 100 and some people with no 45, man, in no minute.
It's the same action as it is on an...
Man, you gotta drop that clip. You gotta read. What's the largest clip you can get in a 45?
Probably 20.
20. So by the time you fire them 20 shots off, don't you think you got 100 people in there? Yeah. Somebody gonna jack you when you try to reload?
Right. But, you know, the standard magazine for an AR-15 is 30. 15, actually, and you got to buy a 30.
Well, I tell you what, it looked like somebody is doing a whole lot more than with them 30 clips they got. And then, what about them bump stocks? How many rounds were they able to fire with those?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a gimmick. You know, bump stock is not accurate, and I don't know one way or the other if they
do you know how many mass killers have used that bump stock to kill dozens and dozens of people? And you say it's not accurate? I tell you what you do. You gonna tell that husband and wife
I was in Las Vegas morning. That dude was just shooting fish in a barrel from an elevated position.
Well, guess what? While he was shooting them fish in the barrel, every one of them dead loved ones that they lost, he was pretty accurate killing them.
Right. And you know, and I see where you're coming from. You know, I'm just wondering, you know, the slope, if they can classify a certain semi-automatic because of the magazine capacity as an assault weapon.
They got certain magazines they're gonna ban. When they did the assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004, did the government do any tyranny?
No, the government didn't. And crime went down.
And I just said, didn't crime go down? That was my next statement.
But listen, when it got reinstated in 2004, it's still been going down.
It is?
Yeah. The FBI, okay. If you look at the FBI, you know, see, my thing is...
Well, let me share something with you about the FBI statistical report. Let me share something with you. The FBI statistical report, according to Mayor Strickland and Director Rollins and all them, they said that crime in Memphis is down. Do it seem like it to you?
Well,
it seem like it to you?
I guess you can manipulate anything.
Right. I remember one statistic they had that Hillary Clinton was going to win the presidency by landslide. Did that happen?
I never trust statistics I had manipulated. I'm just, you know, I'm not calling to argue with.
No, I know. You got a
I was trying to clarify. I'll make one other point. Is people make the choice to kill way before they pick the tool they're going to use.
No doubt about it. Guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. And if you think that you're going to say, well, we're going to do a background check to see if they're mentally ill, number one, that violates the HIPAA law. You can't just go and invade people's medical information like that. Number two, the thing that these folks get less than 4% of these people that are doing these mass killings have been determined to have a record of some kind of mental disturbance they're dealing with. So that means over 90% of them are legal citizens that they just got hatred and they got racism in their heart. They go and kill them. Guess what? You cannot make that against the law.
So you can't. What we're saying, like your show is a perfect example. Your show and what you say is far superior to changing hearts and souls than the government. The government has no ability.
You can't legislate.
No law on earth is going to change a man's soul.
You cannot legislate right now. Only Jesus can fix this.
You know, but what you say, it does change people's. I mean, I'm changed. I have a similar background as you. You know, we changed. You know, I don't think the way I used to think.
Right.
But it wasn't no legislation. You know,
And you know what you bring up a good point, because before I became a Christian, I was a Muslim, and you couldn't tell me that the white man was the blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil, and that his whole agenda was to sit around here and hold me down as a black man, and he's a racist now, and he was a racist from the beginning. But when I got it with Jesus, and I looked at the truth about my life, I was a thief, I was a robber, I was a lawbreaker, and I deserved to be locked up because I was breaking crime. That's why I was locked up, because I was robbing people.
And that's true. You know, I have a slightly different thing on that. I grew up in upstate New York, where there was no blacks or African Americans or whatever you want to call it. There just wasn't in my county.
Okay.
And you wouldn't believe the amount of people that had no contact with those, with black folks, and were completely racist and had a negative outlook on it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Traditions and conditioning that I heard my whole life.
Right.
I heard that.
Grandma and granddaddy, they passed their prejudices down to son and daughter, and son and daughter passed it down to grandson and granddaughter. And yes, sir, I know that to be true.
Exactly. And now that I've been in Memphis for 20 years, I have great friends. I came to the conclusion the difference between me being a white person and you is the color of our skin, and that's it, man.
That's the problem. We want the same thing. We want safe neighborhood. Well, most of us want safe neighborhood. Want our kids to have a decent education. I want the opportunity to have a piece of the American pie. Most of us want the same things in life.
They want the exact same thing, and that's why I called. And I understand. It's a tough situation.
Man, what?
And you can't get off in the weeds. You gotta, we need to stay on what you said.
Until America gets back
around a long time, and it ain't going nowhere, and there's only one way to conquer.
Until America, I don't care what color you are, turns their heart back to God. This ain't finna get better. This finna get worse. For those of you that believe it, all I can do you tell you is pray and stay out the way.
That's right. Man, I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I love you too, brother.
Bye.
Now, I mentioned about the black populists. They gonna go for it. Now, for a minute, I gotta play this before I go. I got to play this. Tucker Carlson interviewed the city councilman from Baltimore. I want y'all to hear this. You got to hear this.
Which has seen a lot of this. He's a Baltimore city councilman, and he is nice enough to join us tonight. We're happy to have him. Mr. Stokes, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, this is not an attack on Baltimore. I live near Baltimore, and, I've always felt sorry for Baltimore. But you have to kind of wonder, what did happen to the $2.3 billion the Fed sent Baltimore over the last 10 years? It's not evident when you drive through.
Well, I'm actually not here to talk about what happened to the money, what happened, who didn't do what. I'm here to talk about how hard Baltimore City residents take care of their neighborhoods, clean up, those kind of things, and talk about 400 years of structural racism, not just in Baltimore, all over the country for black people.
Okay. That's okay. That's an interesting topic, but it doesn't quite get to the key question, which is why have two mayors resign? What happened to the money? Why is the murder rate higher than almost every country on the planet? What is the core problem in Baltimore, do you think?
The murder rate comes from 400 years of structural racism, which leads to poverty, which leads to...
Yeah, I'll play the rest of that tomorrow. I told y'all that they didn't go-kart racism and something with you. Black people either can't read or they can't count. Slavery started in 1619. 400 years would mean this is 2019. Slavery would still be going on. Quit letting these Muslims and all these folks with this black agenda make a fool out of you. Either you can't read or you can't count. Slavery started in 1619. It ended in 1864. Don't you pick up a book, go read it, and then when you go read it, get a thing called a calculator. If you can't do it, you can do like Jeff Robo did. Naught minus naught plus naught, and then you flip around and count it all up. You can count it on your finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You start back on your hand again. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And y'all need to wake up. Everybody, that might be telling you the truth, but I'm going to tell you that truth from the Lord. I thank you, God. I thank you for America, and I thank you for the president. And I pray for him with all my heart that you strengthen that man, that you encourage that man, that you lead that man, and you chastise that man to lead this country. In Jesus' name, I thank you now. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. And I'm going to keep praying for the president. Look, if you like the show, support the show. Go to AndreGuy.com. Click on Revelation Christian Center. We the one show that's standing on the truth. Why don't you support us? Help us do it. Amen. God bless.
Are you looking for affordable auto, home, life, renters, or bearers?